Announcing A Conversation with Diplo, Grammy Award-winning DJ and producer, and founder of Diplo's Run Club. Moderated by Angelique Jackson, Senior Entertainment Writer, Variety.
Thank you so much for joining us for this amazing morning and afternoon, and we are here closing the program out. My name is Angelique Jackson. I'm one of the senior entertainment writers at Variety, and it is my pleasure to be here discussing with this amazing team Diplo's Run Club. So joining me first, we have Grammy-winning recording artist and producer, an entrepreneur, and the founder of Diplo's Run Club, Diplo.
Hi, how are you?
We have Renee Brodeur, who's partner and EVP of TMWRK Management.
Hi.
We have Sam Hunt, EVP and Managing Executive at Wasserman Music.
Hi.
And last but certainly not least, we have Todd Palmerton, VP of Talent, Event, and IP Creation over at Wasserman.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so, let's get this thing started. The lore of Diplo's Run Club, sort of, my understanding, begins when you ran a half marathon and then ended up at the club at, sunrise.
Yeah. In Miami, the half marathon ends like right there downtown, and you have to start really early because it gets really hot in Miami. So you start at 7 a.m. and about by 11, people are kind of finishing. But I got there at 9 o'clock at the finish line, and it ends like one block from Space Nightclub. So if you've ever been to Space Nightclub, it's the headliners play around 9 a.m. till like noon. So I went in there with my shorts on and my bib, and I knew the DJ. I went backstage and I had like a shot, and I was having the best time ever. And then I posted a TikTok, and people were like, "That's crazy to go to straight to the club from the run." And then the next year, there was like 40 people that did that, and I was like, "Oh, we got to make this a thing." So then I had the concept. I brought it to Renee, and she's a partner at TMWRK, my management company, and they're really good at taking my chaotic ideas and like conceptualizing them. And then Sam, my agent, since I started basically doing shows, and then Wasserman's team, they were like, "Yeah, we can do this." And I think somehow they negotiated all the chaos, and they put together a great team and a great event. And we did a proof of concept last year. We did a bunch of people, almost 23,000 people at our first 2 races. And then this year we expanded to 8 more.
So yes, we're about 8 days away for the kickoff of the 2025-26 season. Sam, I'm actually going to pitch that over to you because, when you and Renee first hear this idea, what is your thought of, okay, now we're going to have 2,500 people? Was it kind of a straight line from there? You're like, oh, yes, this is going to be easy.
No, definitely not. It was going to be easy. There's probably 2 years in between presenting the idea and it sort of coming to fruition. Because we all know music and music-related events, but don't necessarily know running and race-related events. And I sort of tried poking at it on my own, and I was like, man, this is kind of out of my jurisdiction here. And right around then, we brought Todd in to work at Wasserman to handle specifically things like this, or like artist-centric events. And we both happen to live in the same area and work in the same office. And his first day at work, I was like, hey, Todd, I got one for you.
Yeah, he dropped this on my desk before my first HR meeting. And he said, can you figure this one out? And I said, oh, cool.
Todd, a couple months later, formed a relationship with a company called Mascot Sports. They specialized in setting up races. They were into this. So we, as sort of an organization, Diplo Incorporated is pretty good at bootstrapping events. We did these things called the Mad Decent Block Parties probably like 12, 13 years ago. There were also self-produced festivals that started in Philly, pretty raw and down and dirty, and grew into something that was like, 12, 13 cities, 10 to 15,000 capacity events, maybe even bigger. And we did that fully on our own. So we sort of had not a playbook, but we knew that we were capable of it. So we sort of got the band back together and worked with a new partner in Mascot and got these 2 races up and running, San Francisco and Seattle, and they went, honestly, better than any of us expected them to go. Like we all thought it was a cool idea, or we wouldn't have pursued it. But never in our wildest dreams did we think that they would succeed as much as they did. They overperformed what Diplo would do for a normal Diplo show by 2 or 3 times. So we really felt like we had sort of unlocked a concept and an audience that had been waiting for something like this.
Yeah, we kind of didn't know what we signed up for, and through doing the process, like Sam said, we outperformed his last headline shows by 2 or 3 times in those markets from the years prior. So we were like, great, all right, we got something here. So
Wes, what was that like for you to recognize that your audience obviously comes to the shows and is there already anyway, but also was interested in that same, wellness idea that you have been kind of so passionate and not outspoken, but you've been open about on social and all of the things too. What was that like to kind of recognize you could reach your audience in multiple ways?
A lot of times when you work at a booking agency, like Sam has been doing my stuff for over 15 years. It's very low touch. You kind of want to tour in the summertime. You do your shows. We have Vegas residency. But Sam, I'm always like, I want to go play Pakistan, whatever the hell it is. And he kind of finds the shows in Mongolia. But I'm like kind of a crazy person to like, let's try to go the randomest places we can, Antarctica, whatever it is. So Sam's like, actually, we did Antarctica like this last year, but Sam's like, we can, he likes.
Never again.
But he likes, I think Sam likes
No
to
run club in Antarctica?
We did a run. I did it one Strava on the boat on a circle. No one joined me. I was by myself. But Sam is. I think it's exciting for him. He likes to kind of like. He came from the booking me at little VFWs and like little rock and roll shows. So it's like I think he does like enjoys to take on a task, and the partnership was great because Wasserman has like the kind of like the playbook to do something at this caliber. Me, I'm 46 years old, so I do not want to be like going to like nightclubs every night of my life. And I don't want. I have children. My son's like in high school now, so I want to spend more time at home. And I've leaned into health and wellness, as an example for a lot of young people, fans of DJs, fans of electronic music, showing that's like you can do both. And a lot of DJs have like gone sober, and it's very positive now. It's like people thought partying, going to DJ shows is like drug-induced alcoholism, but a lot of young people don't drink. They go to parties. They some people do wake up to go to Space or go to Ibiza or Burning Man. They wake up for sunrise sets. So there's a different mode to going to parties. And I think leaning into it, a lot of like millennials don't even drink, don't party. Like they kind of like just want to go see music. So that's been my brand the last 4 or 5 years, kind of showing running and fitness and sports and all that can be combined with music. And I think this is a good turning point to kind of create something that's like that can create value as well.
Well, and I think part of the reason why it was so successful as well is it was like truly authentically Wes, and it kind of harnessed the evolution of his fan base as well too, because he's been doing this for so long, being able to tap into the fans that may not be 22 years old anymore and that still want to kind of let loose and party and have a good time. And there was plenty of drinking done at these races,
we do
afterwards, but like they want to drink at noon and then maybe have an afternoon nap. So
yeah, you can go to the party and you can go to bed at like 5 p.m.
Yeah,
so yeah,
that was another thing that really caught us off guard. The first race in San Francisco. By the way, I don't think we actually explained what these are specifically, but you do a 5K race that starts at 9 a.m. There's an opening DJ that plays at the finish line at 9:30, and then Diplo goes on at 10:30, and then the whole thing is over at 12:30 p.m. One was on Saturday, one was on Sunday. But yeah, I think that going to clubs is intimidating and not fun if you're 40 or 50 or even like 35. I mean, Wes, I can't tell you how many people I put on the guest list for your shows in Vegas who don't go. It's like 95%. Everyone who's like 50 is like, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to the club. And then it's like 11:30 and you're like, he goes on at what, 1:30? No, thanks. I'm out.
Yeah.
I miss half of the shows in Vegas even when I go to see
Yeah, but so it's sort of it's a comfortable environment and it's easy. And yeah, you can be home for a dinner. And yeah, we were way caught off guard by how much people wanted to drink in San Francisco.
Bring your kids too.
Yeah, bring your family, whatever. We had to double our bartenders.
Yeah.
No rules. Yeah, we had to double staff our bartenders in Seattle because, people have pent up, ready to party, and you just ran a 5K, so you've earned the right to drink whatever you want.
I think this is also like pushing running and music forward in a new way. So, when you're walking the crowd and you have a race credential on, people come up and talk to you. And I met a lot of people that had seen Diplo play for the first time, and they were with a friend who runs all the time, and they had never run or seen or danced. So like they came together, they trained, they showed up to the show for the first time, so they're experiencing something new. So it actually is building a new community and bringing music and running to people in a different way. So I thought that was really, really special to see that. It's also generational too. So there's, I live in Mill Valley, California, so when we did the San Francisco race, now I have all of these little 12-year-olds, 13-year-old girls in my daughter's class that are all huge Diplo fans. They want to run it all the time. And so it's becoming a generational thing. I think it's really, really special to see that.
It's definitely activated the mom and dad groups.
Yeah, mom and dad groups.
And that is actually, like you were saying, kind of the best idea of this is that it is a very accessible just concept. This is something that anybody can kind of get up and go do and recognize that, running and wellness can be part of your everyday. And then, yes, again, you can rave at 10 a.m. and take your nap at noon. Tell me a little bit about, the actual production of this, because that is sort of key. So as you mentioned, you started out with the 2 cities. Now we've expanded to 8. The first race will be in Philadelphia here in about 8 days. What did it kind of take to actually put it on its feet?
Oh, man.
Todd, I'll have you start.
It's a Herculean effort. I mean, we are grinding on this tour day and night all week. It's not like a normal tour where, you book music venues and you go there and you advance a rider. We're dealing with police and fire and city councils and, park rangers and, what they like and don't like and how precious the grass is and this tree can't be touched. I mean, there's just so much that goes into it. So navigating it, we've learned a tremendous amount. But it really is, a passion project for all of us.
Yeah, it's not, I don't know what you people do really, but it's building a 15,000 person concert is hard to do on its own. And we sort of produce and build these from scratch ourselves. Finding a spot to do that is challenging in most cities. And then you tack on 5K of road closures, and there's 2 different administrations. It's tricky.
It's basically like throwing 2 different events in one. And it really, truly is a full team effort. I mean, Wasserman has their whole marketing team, Todd, Sam, obviously. We've got Mascot, who Todd mentioned. And then TMWRK, we've got our head of touring production involved heavily. And our head of brand sponsorships, Perry, and Katie, who works with me, and it is we spend basically 4 hours a day on Zooms doing it.
We're trying to work towards a version of this in the future where we're not building everything from scratch. It's just too expensive. It makes it difficult to make them profitable because fencing things off, bringing in power, bringing in a stage. We're trying to find a world where we sort of piggyback on pre-existing builds, because then all we have to do is tack the race portion on. But for how we decided what to do, we did a bunch of surveying, and then we went from that and sort of went down the line. And there were some cities like Chicago where we found a great place to do we found 12 great places to do the concert. None of them could work with a run because this road was needed for emergency vehicles. This was needed to load in another event happening. It's, you keep spinning the wheel until you get the right one.
But Philly, for example, Philly is a special city to you, Wes. So why was that one in particular that you wanted to go to this year?
We, like Sam said, we started off doing events called the Madison Block Party, and that was something I did on my own almost over 20 years ago. In Philadelphia, you can just do a sort of a block party in your street by just getting 10 signatures and going to City Hall and paying $50, and the police will block off your street, and you can put a pool there and have games. They didn't expect 2,000 people to come to us, so we did 2 years. We got away with it, and then year 3, Sam's we have to move this to a real venue because someone's gonna get hurt. And then it got a word of mouth. We went from Philly. We did 3 years just on my own, bringing my speakers out of my studio and having a party in the street, to going to New York City, and then it was Toronto. We did Calgary. We ended up doing South Africa. So many different events. The brand itself sold itself on the idea of being a block party. And then Philly was the genesis for everything for me, from doing music. When my studio started, my first label was there. And I remember going to see the Eagles play in New Orleans this year, and I saw a lot of kids in the streets because I'm a huge Eagles fan. All my friends were there. A lot of people that saw me were in their 40s, and they're like, "Oh, Diplo, when are you gonna do a block party again?" I'm like, "It's not really. We don't do that." But they're like, "Oh, we're gonna come to the Run Club now because that's sort of you can enjoy that when you get older." So for me, it was very important to show Philly love and start there. And then it's also not, I would say, a very health conscious city. We put on sale San Diego, it almost sold out immediately. And Philly is I don't know, people don't really. There's a lot of cheesesteaks and stuff like that, getting Yinglings. But we're gonna grind it, and I think it's a good place to try a new market because we understand LA, we understand SF, and if you take me out of the market for a while, we can sell tickets real easily. Philly's a good place to start because it is probably one of the toughest markets, but it's my home, so it's important.
I mean, that adds to the authenticity that you were just speaking about, Renee.
And also pointing to how we do it in a way that makes sense. I work with a number of artists in Bowery Presents, which is a subsidiary of AEG. Someone over there who lived in Philly spent 2 years trying to get a permit to do shows at this park. that was like where all the cool concerts happened in the 90s. They used to do Lollapalooza there, and then they hadn't had a concert there for 22 years. So she coaxed the city to like let her give it a shot. And she came to me saying, what concerts can we do? What concerts can we do? And I was like, well, I know you're doing concerts at night. They go from 8 p.m. to midnight. You're building this whole setup. Why don't you just let us use it from 9 a.m. to noon, and then you can do whatever you want with it afterwards. So it was the combination of, it was whatever, kismet, like a city that had a lot of meaning with a great opportunity to partner with someone that we know and trust.
Renee, you had your mic up.
No, I was going to say the same exact thing, where it was a good example of like going into a pre-existing venue in an effort to try and keep costs down and be efficient and stuff like that.
That's what we're doing in LA too. There's a Golden Voice does concerts at LA Historic Park. They're doing a concert with the big DJ on a Saturday night. They were like, we'll just leave our everything set up until Sunday morning. You can use it, and then we'll tear it down.
I mean, as you all have kind of continued to grow and expand this and kind of tweak and adjust things, like where do you see the future of where this goes next? What are some of the things that you've even learned from, round one that you're implementing into round two?
I think that what we're learning is that 8 races is about as many as we can handle, like doing sort of soup to nuts, and that we'll need to build into more of like a franchise or license model going forward. But I also think an ideal would be that this could happen in 40 or 50 or 70 cities. And like maybe Wes plays all of them, or maybe he plays 15 of them. There are a lot of other DJs that want to do these things. And like he said, there's like a lot of very health conscious DJs. I mean, DJ, what was the guy's name? Vice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vice.
Who opened the San Francisco show. Like he posts on his socials nothing but running content. He runs every single day, and it's not just him. Like,
and Travis Barker as well has a run club. So there's a lot of Jelly Roll has a run club. So there's a lot of musicians doing it as well.
Yeah, so I think sort of creating the foundation for a model that can work around the globe. And there have been other races that incorporate music and running, but they're not like, they are running first. They're not really culturally in touch, and they book like kind of whomever. So doing something that is for music fans specifically, I think that there's a real opening for that.
I feel like it gives it more heart, right? More soul when you have, Wes, this is his passion, right? So coming to him, being able to bring that passion to life, it really shows through because you really support, every aspect of the race. And it's different than just putting on, a rock and roll marathon where you have music and people run it, right? But this is like, there's a lot of curation and thought and passion that goes into it. I think that shows through in the experience.
Well, and even the support talent that we book on these runs, our hope is for all of them to participate in the run and actually be runners as well. We have A-Track opening for Philly, who we manage as well, and he's an avid runner now, and he's going to run the race and just go immediately to the decks and DJ as well. So
I remember doing the San Francisco run, and the mayor introduced us, and it really felt like the city wanted us there. Like they loved the idea of bringing traffic in. If 13,000 people come, that's all the restaurants are full. Like people are going to enjoy drinks after we're done. It encourages healthy people in the city, and I think in Seattle, the mayor ran with us and ended up doing like the cold plunge at the end of it with us. So it's beneficial for the cities too. I was surprised at how much interest there was. I must have gotten requests that I've sent to the team from Mexico City, the Philippines, South Africa. Like there's, we had a lot of interest in Europe. It was a lot harder to do that there. But this year, if we can run 8 and they're well done, like they said, hopefully they can kind of like go on their own without our team. That'd be a long-term goal.
Yeah, the opportunities. I mean, they're robust. We're getting, we're getting hit up constantly from different countries around the world and cities and different race directors. But I think we need to pull the reins back and make sure that we're, getting everything right here first before we do that expansion.
Yeah, and we don't want it to be like a watered-down version of what the product is.
Yeah.
I will ask one question that I've forgotten about the Run Club. Do you need to be fast?
No, you can walk it. You just have to get there before I play if you want to enjoy it. That's like 5K is not that bad. 3 miles, you can literally walk 3 miles in with the slowest pace, 40 minutes. So you're going to be able to make it to the end. So it's not anybody could do it. You can also just kind of skip the race and walk to the bar if you're that much of a drinker. I have some friends that did that, but we encourage you to run. And there are some fast runners. I remember in San Francisco, we had this little kid was like 14. And he just freaking did it's 11 minute. I don't know. He was so fast. And then we brought the fastest 3 runners to Seattle, and the Seattle runners beat everybody. So and it was raining outside. So There are some competitive people for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can walk it. We encouraged some healthy competition as well. Last year, we gave the top 3 runners in both the men's and women's categories side stage viewing as well. Brought them up on stage for his set and stuff. So yeah.
But it's like meant to be casual and like entry level. Like anyone can do it.
Not just asking for a friend, but also asking for myself. But do that idea as well. I mean, Wes, when you get up there and you are, DJing in front of this crowd that you all have brought together, they've done this 5K run, where does that rank in some of your favorite DJ sets?
We were so lucky last year. San Francisco might have been the nicest day in the history of San Francisco. It was like warm. I mean, it was so beautiful, and I remember seeing the crowd was like, we're on the docks, and right behind us with stages this way, I'm facing like the river, or what was it, the bay?
The bay,
whatever, the bay. And I just remember looking at it, it was like the most beautiful sun, because I'd never seen sun in San Francisco. It's always so crappy, and I just thought it was so beautiful, and people were, when you finish the race, there's 2 tiers. You can buy just like a regular bib, and then you can buy a VIP bib that gives you access to the cold plunges, the Normatex, and like, different things that we have for wellness. And it was so cool to see those people kind of like come inside, and everybody was on the dance floor. And it was just like the best vibe I could encourage for people to have, because even if you're sober, you just have such a runner's high. When you have that victory of accomplishing something like that, you just want to have fun, and the crowd was so responsive. I played for me, like an underground set, like I wasn't playing my Vegas set or my commercial set or a birthday set. I was playing something that like music that I love. So it was cool to have that in the middle of the day.
Part of the reason I ask is because, like we explained at the beginning of this conversation, this happened so organically. You just went and did that yourself. You had that experience, that runner's high at the club, and then now it's actually turned into something real. Like, what did that feel like, looking back?
I've always been lucky to be in the right place at the right time. As I was running and starting to promote running on my my pages, running got really popular. Like the run clubs got popular all over the world. I remember going to Miami and doing a little pop-up run club, and this run club has been there for 10 years. That was the first run club in Miami. Now there's probably 60 run clubs in Miami, and everybody goes there. Young people go there to meet people. A lot of people go there to date, and then they just kind of like that's how you meet people. I feel like now in this generation, so it feels good to be kind of create a catalyst for more people to run and more people to enjoy them, like a healthy way to have a party.
Also in touring, there's only, like you said earlier, there's kind of only so many things you can do. Play clubs, play festivals. So to sort of create a new category that's not only new, but like good and wholesome and inclusive and fun, like feels very, feels like
you don't have to like have your best clothes on and like wear your jewelry and like have your makeup on. You just kind of go out there and you look at each other, and it was so cool to see the different groups. There was like in San Francisco, there was like the moms for the run club, and then in Seattle we had 20 people dressed like Shrek that ran together. So it's like you kind of create these little groups, these little cultures around it, and I love to bring those people together.
Yeah, that's one actually important thing to note is, our race directors at Mascot Sports, they haven't seen this many groups sign up for normal 5K, so we're really over-indexing there. So it's just, I can't remember the percentage, but it's a healthy amount of people are actually coming together and creating teams and training together and showing up.
I just remember there's like 900 groups in San Francisco, and if you sign up, like the more people you sign up in your group, the more of like a discount you get. Yeah. So like you get 20% off, it's 3 people, 30% off, it's 4 people. So people are incentivized to create like teams kind of.
Yeah.
And sometimes it would be pre-existing run clubs that would all go register together, and sometimes it's like a cluster of friends that created a run club to do the race.
I was also curious how this has gotten you all more creative with other clients as well. When they see the success of something like this, are they all like, I would love to start a tennis tournament, or I would like to...
Totally. I mean, it's something I point to all the time, and I think what I point to most is just the collaboration with the team, and how responsive everyone is and how passionate and bought in, because it really, to pull these types of events off with talent, you really need to have them participate and be passionate about it and talk about it and give you their feelings, right? So that's how this stuff actually really comes to life. It's very hard to do stuff in a box and then come out and present it, because then it's not everyone's idea, right? So collaboration's a huge part of this.
Okay, Wes, what's the next big idea?
God, I'm scared.
There's a lot. maybe we do like a petting zoo every city and like different exotic animals. I don't know. Let's get through these 8 run clubs and let's figure out what to do next.
Great answer.
We're lucky though; he keeps us on our toes, so he'll definitely have something next.
I do get bored a lot, so I'm always like trying to like. I think Renee's working on like 7 different projects I'm doing right now, like fully. But I think it was like released this week, and then next week was another release. So yeah, she has like the hardest job.
I can't keep up.
Well, that's okay, because again, Renee, we don't have to be fast. We just have to be there. Well, thank you guys all so much for being here with us for this summit. And thank you so much to you, Diplo, to this entire team for bringing us a little bit of your teamwork to this conversation.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.